Hi guys, Tim Demetriou from PencilPay here. In this video, we'll talk about the number one problem that small and medium business owners, their staff, and their families have to deal with. Now, we work with hundreds of businesses, their suppliers, wholesalers, manufacturers, and when we have an initial consultation, the most common question I get is, how the hell can I get my customers to pay me on time? They can come up with their rent on time and they can pay their staff on time, so what's the deal? In this video, I'll go through the 5 things that will get you paid on time. Now, it's pretty complex because every business that you deal with has a unique situation. But we're not talking about big sums of money here. We deal with brands that produce or wholesale things like alcohol, like health products, fashion, coffee, consumer goods. So we're talking about invoices of no more than a couple of thousands of dollars. So when customers tell me I want to get paid on time, I immediately know that they're giving payment terms or trade credit. So the term credit just means that you're giving customers goods up front with the promise that they're going to pay you after a certain period. Now, the period could be 7 days, it could be 14, 30, something like that. So they give credit. So here's an idea. If you give credit, that means that you're a credit provider. So you've got to start to act like one. So we're going to look at what makes a good credit provider. There is 5 key pillars that every credit business worth its salt actually places importance on. So think back to the last time when you went and got a personal loan and all the hoops that you had to jump through. Number 1, they made you provide 100 points of ID, or they would have made you verify your ID online through a government database. Number 2, they made you complete and sign a contract. It probably outlined the terms of the credit, the interest that you had to pay, and maybe your repayment schedule or something like that. And then what happens in the event of a default. Number 3, they performed a risk assessment by either looking at your income and your available credit history. Number 4, they asked for some type of guarantee, either personally or with an asset. And number 5, they required a bank account to debit the repayments from on the agreed repayment schedule. So when I get told I want to get paid on time without chasing, I always point this out to people. So how is B2B different to that? Well, we're dealing with much shorter debt cycles and usually much smaller sums of money. What I would say though is that there's 4 things that you should always do in order to satisfy yourself that you are actually going to get paid on time and in full. So A, you always need to know who you're in business with. You need to agree on the fundamentals of when you're going to get paid and have a mechanism to be able to recover the funds. In the world of B2B credit, what this means is you've got to identify the person in charge of the business and verify things like their ABN, company name, and trading name. Now B, you've got to get a contract in place that includes the verified company details as well as the person in charge that I just mentioned. Just make sure it's got the agreed terms, credit limits, that type of thing. C, decide if the company can actually pay their bills. A good way to do this is to actually find out who else supplies them. Just give them a call. Go and check things like the coffee bags or the other brands that they stock on their shelves and give them a ring. See if they'll talk to you. Maybe it's an ongoing relationship where you can compare some notes, and I guess the other angle is just to do a credit check through a credit bureau or through Pencil. D, you need to collect one or the other of a director's guarantee or a personal guarantee, or you need to collect a payment method. And that payment method has to be stored. That's either a credit card or a bank account for direct debit. A little word of warning with this type of system though, make sure you use something that's properly set up and properly compliant. You've got to ensure that credit card details are stored in a PCI compliant manner, and you need to ensure that direct debit lines up with the BECS regulatory guideline. That's BECS. I've provided you with a link in the description of what this entails and I guess some providers that can also help you. So to repeat, A, find out who you're in business with. B, get a contract signed that outlines just the fundamentals. C, make sure their business has the means to pay. And D, have a mechanism to recover the funds. If you do this, you will get paid on time. You won't have to chase, and your business relationship won't be about debt. It'll be about doing business and hopefully forging a really good, strong relationship over a number of years. Thanks for your time today. I'm Tim Demetriou and we're PencilPay.com. Thank you.